Good afternoon, sunshine. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Television Podcast. Again, thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. As I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, it's always so much fun. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. I love hearing from you. A lot of you have asked about diets. You know, almost everything has added sugar in it, so we really have to be careful, especially if you don't grow your own food. If you go to the grocery store and if you don't go to the farmers markets, you've really got to watch it. Even if you buy jam at the farmers market, got some added sugar in it, right? So we just are really trying to be conscious of our intake of sugar. So we're going to be talking about that today. And that's how to survive without so much sugar in our diets. Cutting out added sugar out of your diet can be a surprisingly positive effect. I'm telling you, even within just a few days, if you start just eliminating added sugars like your soft drinks, your candies, your cookies, and your cakes, and your sweet tea like we have here in the South, syrups, and many of the processed foods while still eating whole fruits and vegetables, you're going to notice just in the first week that you're going to have less cravings for sweets, especially if you currently eat them often. Now, I got a sweet tooth too, so I'm talking to myself right here on this show. Now, some people experience headaches, irritability, or fatigue for a few days because your body is trying to get used to something new. So the taste buds begin to adjust, and naturally sweet foods like strawberries and peaches and carrots actually start tasting sweeter. There's nothing like Phil and I taking a walk. We take our morning walks out in the garden, and there's just something about just, pulling off a strawberry. It tastes sweeter. It's going to be a different kind of a sweet. It's not a sluggish sweet as to what you're probably used to. Now, let's talk about what happens about after 2 to 4 weeks. Many people are going to notice more stable energy throughout the day. You're not going to be quite as sluggish. Fewer afternoon energy crashes. How many of us now we eat lunch, and then right after lunch, it's like, man, I got to find somewhere to take a nap. It's because we're taking too much sugar. You're going to also find that you're getting better sleep. All that's going to happen within 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to have less bloating. And by the way, you're going to have clearer skin for most people. I know when I was a teenager, I could eat one Hershey's bar and all of a sudden, bang, I would have breakout like crazy because my skin was already oily. But mixing in those extra sugars was not a help. You're going to have reduced inflammation, which is going to help you with your achy joints. Dr. Chuck with our chiropractor that we have as our sponsor, Lakeland's Chiropractic, he's always talking about that. A lot of things that we can do on our own, but you need to go see him too, because I'm just going to tell you, he's like the best chiropractor out there. You're also going to see changes in your weight if you replace your sugary foods with nutritious foods instead of other high-calorie snacks. It's just going to be better. You may also lose weight gradually. I know that happened to me once. I was trying to figure out, what in the world? How am I losing weight? I'm not on a diet. I'm still eating. I'm eating my sandwiches. I'm even sneaking chips in there. And I was still losing some weight. So I got to thinking about it. Wait a minute. I'm not eating as many sweets as I used to. So that really does help. If you get, again, fruits are going to taste sweeter, especially what you get from the farmer's market. It's just going to taste better. You're going to also reduce belly fat over time. You'll notice a sizable difference there. I also find it easier to control your appetite because your blood sugar swings are less dramatic. How many times have you had like you eat a candy bar or whatever, and all of a sudden you get this like crazy energy, and then it falls down just as quick as you get it? You're going to see a lot less of that happening too. Blood sugar and heart health reducing added sugar can also help. It helps to lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, improves your insulin sensitivity, also lower triglycerides. That's something that Phil, even though he's 6'2" and slim, we have to watch out after his triglycerides. It's a hereditary thing with him. I'll never forget, we took him to the doctor because I was getting a little bit concerned. And, it's like a few things were not quite right. So he goes to the doctor, and the doctor comes to me and he says, I'm going to put Phil on a diet. Looking at him laughing, I said, I think he probably got his chart mixed up with somebody else's. And he said, no, it's his triglycerides. We've got to cut out the bad fats. Now, you got to have fats, okay? But the bad fats are the ones you want to take care of. We'll talk about that in another show. Also, limiting your sugar intake is going to support healthier blood pressure and heart health. Your brain and your mood. Now, many people report when they cut back on the sugar. I'm not talking cold turkey. I'm just saying cut back on it. They're getting better concentration, more consistent mood, by the way. We don't have those mood swings. I probably really just cut sugar out big time. Less of a roller coaster feeling after eating sweets. I know sometimes we had this really cool bakery when we were living in Charlotte, and it was just right across the shopping center where I had a business. And so I'm telling you, the food was really good, but I'm just telling you, when I would eat a bite of a cookie, it's like, pew, it's like my head would almost start spinning off. Now, let's talk a little bit about your immune system. While the sugar doesn't directly turn off your immune system, a diet lower in added sugar and higher in nutrient-rich foods, like stuff from your own garden. I keep pointing that in there. But that helps support overall immune health and also helps reduce chronic inflammation. Everything's about inflammation. When you're sick, it's your body. Should you eliminate all sugar? Not necessarily. Treat yourself every once in a while. When people do cold turkey and it's just like, I'm never going to eat a bite of sugar ever again. You got to have a balanced diet, It's just not like a big donut every day. You know what I mean? Just kind of limit it. Not necessarily now. Okay, now your body can benefit from natural sugars that are found in fresh fruits. There you go. And again, you're going to find the fruits and vegetables taste a whole lot better. You got vegetables that have some kind of sugar in them sometimes. Plain dairy products like your milk and unsweetened yogurt. Now, these foods also provide fiber. You got to have that, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are good for you. Now, the main goal is to reduce added sugar, not the natural sugars that come packaged with healthy foods. I love gardening. We've got access to a lot of great flavorful foods from our own garden, and I hope you do that too. But instead of sweets, I'll tell you something I enjoy. Fresh berries. I love blackberries, and they're in season right now. Strawberries just have this wonderful taste to them, and they're not as tart. From the same strawberries that we've been raising for years and years. And, they're going to last several seasons, several years. They just taste better. It's got this great taste to them. Watermelon tastes really good when you're limiting your sugar intake. Cantaloupes are really good. Tomatoes with basil taste good. I guess that's why I like tomatoes so much. Tomato is really a fruit. Cucumbers taste wonderful. Homemade herbal teas, like if you sweet them only with fruit slices if needed. Nothing like a peach. A peach is really juicy, or a mango or something like that. So if you'll sweeten that iced tea with a mango or with a peach, I want to tell you, it's just got the best flavor ever. Now, these can really satisfy those sweet tooth while you're providing nutrients and fiber. Now, a simple goal, this comes from the American Heart Association, recommends limiting adding the sugar as well. So women, no more than 25 grams. That would be somewhere around 6 teaspoons per day. I know it seems hard, but we can do it. Men, no more than 36 grams. Now, that's about 9 teaspoons per day, so they need to limit that. Now, if you currently eat a lot of added sugar, you don't have to quit overnight. And we talked about that also. So reducing it gradually can make the transition a lot easier and much more sustainable. I'm looking at my clock. When I start talking with you guys in food, I start losing time. Now, also in healthy eating, we're all wanting to do that now. And by the way, we need to be example to our kids and our grandkids. So if you are an example to them, they're going to eat healthier too. Have you ever noticed, like when you start eating carrots and you talk about how good they are? Carrots, yeah, they can be sweet too. I'm going to put some in the fall garden. When you start talking about that, and maybe you make them little candied by putting just a little bit of brown sugar and putting those on a pot, like cutting up in little pieces, put a little bit, just a tablespoon is all you need of brown sugar, and putting just a little bit of water and cooking those for just about 20 minutes or so. Your kids are going to eat carrots like crazy. They're going to love them. Just a teaspoon of brown sugar will do the trick because they're already naturally sweet, right? Now, Let's talk about healthy eating, gardening, and making a 30-day plan. Everything is a habit, so and this is true. And I found it to be true with me. If I do something for 30 days, I'm going to continue it on. Now, what I have to do, because we're so busy, I'll have to put it in my day timer. I have to put it on the refrigerator. I have to do wherever I'm going to pass by on top of my computer so that I'm looking at it, so I know what to do. But let's put a plan together. And let's just do a pack. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's have a no added sugar meal plan. And we're going to use the foods that are really easy to grow in South Carolina and all over the country and fit a home garden style. Now, what are the advantages of taking sugar out of your diet? So if you remove the added sugar from the diet, not the natural sugars again, and whole fruits and vegetables, you can experience benefits on every part of your body. I mean, just every part of your body. I've known people who have arthritis, and they say when I've cut back the sugar intake, that they're like there's on their hands. And I've noticed that too, because I've got a little bit of arthritis, and my Comfort Salve helps with that, by the way. But I have a little bit right in here on this finger, and I've noticed it's not as swollen. So when I'm not limiting my sugar intake, I'm noticing my wedding ring is hard to get off. And see, now it just kind of moves around like that. So that's another thing. You're just going to notice that. So inflammation causes swelling, and swelling causes pain, right? Okay, so some changes will happen within just a few days, and others develop over weeks and months. So let's talk about more consistent energy without the rapid spikes and crashes caused by sugary foods and drinks that many people notice. Now, Phil used to play football, and so he was telling me that the coach would tell them not to eat peanut butter. A lot of kids, and I still do sometimes, I just love the taste of peanut butter. But peanut butter, you're going to get that natural high. You're going to have a high. But I'm telling you, just within a few minutes, you're going to crash. You're going to have that spike and crashing just like you did and having energy. But the sugary foods and the drinks are that way as well. And I'll tell you something else, those energy drinks, I don't know. I just feel kind of funky about drink. I've never had one. Well, yeah, I've had one. But what I noticed it was like years ago when they first came out. And so I got this like high for drinking the energy drink. And I thought, oh man, this is cool. I'll do this all day long. I'll not even take vitamins. But I'm telling you, just within an hour or so, I crashed. It's like I was trying to find somewhere to just sit down and maybe even take a quick nap. So we don't want those crashes. We want a stable metabolism, just like see a heart monitor on somebody's heart monitor, how it just goes steady like this. You don't get the ups and down spikes. So that's what you want. I know a quick spike when you take an energy drink feels good for a while, but I'm just telling you, it's not worth the drop that you're going to get, and your blood pressure goes down too. Now let's also talk about steadier energy throughout the day. And then we're going to have to go into a break in just a couple of minutes. But let me go ahead and mention this to you as well. Fewer afternoon slumps. How many of us, we eat something, and I'm as bad as everybody else is. You get some chocolate, like I make my own chocolate candies and stuff. So we eat some of the chocolate candy, and we were, okay, I'm cool, all right. And then I've got to record a show. And like right now, normally I would be like, oh, find me somewhere to lay down. I've got to go to sleep. But if you don't eat so much of the sugary candy and that kind of thing, you're not going to have that afternoon slump where I've got to go find somewhere to go to sleep. And nothing is worse than being in an office atmosphere where you can't get up and walk around. And so there you are. You've just had lunch. You're sitting in front of your typewriter or in front of your computer. Excuse me, they don't do typewriters anymore. That's how I'm showing my age. And then so you're in front of the computer and you're doing your typing, and all of a sudden everything starts looking the same. And you're just almost falling down on your keyboard. We don't want those afternoon slumps. So if nothing else, let's try cutting back on the sugar just for that. Okay, because I know what it is to be on a job, and the boss is depending on you to do your job the right way. And who knows, you might let something really important slip. Less dependence on caffeine. Okay, everybody who knows me knows I love coffee. So one thing I'm trying to do right now, cutting back on caffeine, I'm trying something different. So and I'll let you guys know how it all works out. So I am growing something in place of coffee beans, and we're going to see if that works. I think it probably will. Let's talk about number 2, which is like easier weight management. Added sugar contributes calories without a whole lot of nutrition. Now, reducing it can actually lower your overall calorie intake, help reduce the belly fat over time, makes it easier to recognize true hunger instead of cravings. So we're going to talk about that on another show. True hunger versus cravings. You got to make sure you watch that segment. That's coming up probably the next couple of days. Better heart health. Lower sugar intake is associated with lower triglycerides, which is something we want Phil to watch out for. Better blood pressure, reduced risk of heart disease, healthier cholesterol balance in some people, improved blood sugar control as well. Also, your glucose more effectively and may lower the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Now, reduced inflammation. A diet lower in added sugar may actually help decrease chronic inflammation, which can contribute to joint discomfort, fatigue, certain long-term health conditions. Healthier teeth and less sugar also means fewer calories. And we're all out for that, right? Less plaque buildup. That's another thing I noticed too. I used to get plaque down at the bottom section of my teeth. And I've got this little thing that helps me get rid of plaque, but still it's, I like to just, use floss. I always heard that, if you want to keep all of your teeth, use, floss only the teeth that you want to keep. That's a good rule right there for your kids. If they act like they don't want to floss their teeth, okay, that's fine. Floss only the ones you want to keep. I promise you they're going to second think that one. Less plaque buildup is awesome. Better overall oral health. If your teeth and your gums and your tongue is healthy, then you're going to be healthy. We've got to go into a commercial break. I can't believe how time flies when I'm talking to you. So let's go ahead and get the commercial started, and we'll be right back.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. Okay, good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate you watching the show. It makes my day when I know you're out there. And also when you're sending email, it really makes my day. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. We're talking about less sugar intake and how it actually helps. Now, you women are going to listen to me on this one right here. If you've not listened to another word I've said previously, better skin. A lot of people, myself included, will notice fewer breakouts. Like I told you when I was a teenager, and I still get it. At 67, I still get zits. So my face is just naturally oily. You can see the shine. I'm always putting some powder on my face when I'm taping for you guys because I got these cameras and lights and all that stuff going on. But fewer breakouts means a lot. But yeah, I mean, that's another reason. Tell those teenagers that Donna said that, okay? Donna said, cut back on the sugar because, breakouts are just terrible. I remember any time, like it was time for the prom, it was time for anything we were going to do in school. There, Donna's face would break out and I would have zits all over my face. Also, reduced redness on your face. It helps that. Healthier looking skin over time. Now, not just your face, but your whole body. And also, if you combine less sugar with drinking more water, you're going to see a huge improvement. And you're going to thank me for it later. Now, you're going to have better sleep also. Stable blood sugar may also contribute to falling asleep more easily. Fewer nighttime awakenings. That's something else I've got to think about myself, because usually when I crave something like a candy bar or some of my candy or something like that, usually when I'm craving that, it's because I've just had a cookie or I've just had something like that. And then I go to bed on it. And then I'm going to my eyes are like this, So you're going to wake up a lot less at night. You're going to feel more refreshed in the morning. Boy, that's really good. Let's talk about improved mood and focus. A whole lot of people do say that they've got more stable moods. You don't have those up and downs, like I'm feeling good one minute and then lousy the next minute. Better concentration. I've done a study on that with people, back from, say, grew up in the 40s and the 50s and 60s, and they're getting Alzheimer's or they're getting dementia or something like that. In a lot of cases, they did report that they did eat a lot of sugar. They drank a lot of sugary colas, but you will get better concentration. I'm just telling you, I know that. Less brain fog. How many times have you walk into another room, you're in the kitchen, you're going into the inn to get something, and you turn around at somebody and go, what did I come in here for? We've all done that. I've done that my whole life. But eating less sugar is going to have less brain fog. How about healthier liver? I have to keep a lookout for my liver. When Brad was 2 years old, I got the yellow jaundice and it turned into hepatitis. So it permanently enlarged my liver. So I had to keep up with that. But you'll have a healthier liver consistently if you're always consuming large amounts of added sugar, especially from sweetened beverages. That's what can contribute to the fat buildup in the liver. So cutting back can help reduce that risk. Better digestive health. Think about this. When sugary processed foods are replaced with fiber-rich foods like vegetables, beans are so good for you, whole grains and fruits. Digestion often improves and bowel movements become much more regular. You may appreciate natural flavors more. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. After a few weeks, foods that once seemed kind of bland, green beans even taste good. It's normally kind of a bland food, but you'll taste the richness, you'll taste the green in it. I mean, you'll be able to taste all kinds of great things. And you'll also see that a lot of foods are already naturally sweeter. Now, many people find that they no longer crave desserts as intensively. And I did put that in there. as intensely. You'll always crave. It's always going to be there, but not as bad. So a few things to expect at first. For the first several days, you might notice, again, cravings for sweets are going to be lower. You could have some mild headaches because, you've been used to having that sugar going into your system. And now, like even now, if I eat like a big piece of cake, like I just did over the holiday, actually on the holiday, we went to a wedding, and I'm going to tell you, this is the best carrot cake I have ever ate in my life. I mean, it was so good. And I ate that whole piece, and just all of a sudden, it's like my head was like, whoa, man, it's like it's spinning. So you're going to notice a lot less or more, just a little mild headaches. And eventually it's all going to go away, by the way. You'll be a little bit irritable. Oh, yeah, you will. So you might want to tell your spouse, your better loved one, and even the kids, hey, look, I'm going to cut back on sugar. So if I get irritable, it's because of that. Don't put sugar cubes in my mouth. Okay, you're going to find that you're feeling just a little bit tired. But these symptoms are usually going to go away in about a week or two, okay, as your eating habits adjust, just like anything else. Okay, when you're taking medicines, like when you've had a bad cold or whatever, you're taking medicine, and you start pacing and you stop taking so much of it, you get the same adjustment. Your body has to adjust. Okay, now here's what you can eat instead. So replacing added sugars with nutrient-rich foods can make the transition a lot easier. How about fresh fruit? Always good. Find a farmer's market, okay? That way there's not additives or anything like that put in it. Vegetables, you're going to love it. Unsweetened yogurt, okay? I know we want to grab the one that's got sugar in it, but unsweetened. And I'll tell you something else. If you get unsweetened yogurt and find some strawberries, farmer's market's the best, and put those strawberries and put that in your yogurt, who needs sugar? It's going to be so good for you. Nuts and seeds, eggs are good for you. Of course, we got our girls, and we love our eggs. Fish, chicken, and lean meats. No, whole grains in moderation. Make sure you do that. Also, water or unsweetened tea instead of sugary drinks. Again, now that tea, don't put sugar in it, and get some really ripe, let's see, what would be best? Let's say peaches. Okay, and even mandarin oranges, whatever. And get those while they're really ripe and put those in your tea. You're not going to need sugar. And then it's always good to eat on it, when you get to the bottom of the drink. Now, based on our interest in gardening and cooking from fresh ingredients, we're in a great position now to make this change. You and I are going to do this together. Okay, garden produce, herbs, and homemade meals naturally contain far less added sugar than many packaged foods. Even cutting the added sugar by half can make a meaningful difference. You don't have to quit cold turkey. Just measure everything. That's how I've cut back. So if normally I want sweet tea, if normally I have put, say, 3/4 of a cup of sugar in, say, a quart or a half gallon of my sweet tea, I'll put half that. And really, like now, like I know people who sweeten their tea like big time. And even now, if I drink sweet tea, it almost sends my head to the stratosphere. So what you're going to start noticing is improvements in your energy and overall well-being. I'm telling you, in just a few weeks, you're going to have it all together. Something, I appreciate you watching. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge radio, television, and podcast talk show. You can find us on television, and that is on channel 182. And this is a station up close to the Huntsville, Alabama area. You can also find us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And we're working on something else. Can't tell you about it yet. We're about to have it in place, but I'll give you a hint. It's kind of like a newspaper, something kind of like that. So be looking for information about that and continue sending email. I'm just telling you, it makes my day. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. Again, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you have anything you would like for me to check out, do a little research for you, I love doing it. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.